Hi friends, I'm Lady Lecter. It's time, as always, to get a cup of tea, or in fact your beverage of choice, perhaps even some snacks. You know we love those snackadoos over here. True story. Kick back, chill out, and today we are going to review Gary Numan's Intruder album. So, I've got some notes because you know me, I like to ramble and I don't want to go on for like 15 minutes because, you know, I get easily off on a tangent. So I'm going to review the Gary Numan album today, Intruder. This album was released on the 21st of May and went in at number 2 on the UK album charts. I was so happy for him. I was just like, yay, woo! As you may be aware, I don't know whether you would be aware, but you probably will be aware, Gary Numan's been around for a very long time. He's released like 20 odd albums. He's been around for a long time, sort of on that synth pop new wave sort of movement. And I love me a bit of synth pop, me. Along with my usual post-punk sort of malarkey, I love a bit of synth pop. So yeah, he released this album and here it is. So there you go. I don't know if you can see that. Hi. So yeah, there it is. I got it on vinyl. And there's the back of it as well. It opens out into a gatefold situational. It's a good picture. And then you've got the 2 records inside. So you've got the first one. And the second one. I really like these like inserts because sometimes with records you get like it's just a plain white. It does the job, you know, because the record's in there sort of thing. And they're just like a plain white cover sort of thing. But this is really nice because it's got like the picture on it and it's got the stuff on it. That's really cool. I really like it. I just got the plain vinyl, but there are different options. Like there's the regular CD that you can get, and get the normal CD, and then you can get the deluxe edition CD. The deluxe edition CD has got 1 extra track on it, When You Fall, and the vinyl has got 2 extra tracks on it, which is When You Fall and an alternative version of The End of Dragons. So yeah, you've got different options available, and there's like a coloured coloured record and a picture record as well. Record, I sound really old, don't I? But yeah, so I just got the plain black one. But there's a picture disc. I was really tempted by the picture disc, but it was my husband's birthday this month, so I just kind of had to, like, you know, rein it in a bit. Yeah, so yeah, you've got a couple of different options. I'm going to leave a link to Gary Numan's merch website underneath because you can buy it from there. Obviously, like things like Spotify are really great in this day and age for, like, you know, streaming. I love Spotify when I'm out and about, because when I'm outside in the world, I always got my earphones in so nobody talks to me. Like if I go into a shop, like nobody talks to me if I got my earphones in, and if they do talk to me, I didn't hear them, so it doesn't matter. So like I love things like Spotify when I'm out and about. However, artists make so little money from Spotify that, like, I don't know how they make a living. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I'd just like to buy the actual thing because I want Gary Numan to have my money. So yeah, I've been listening to it for a good couple of weeks since it came out, and it's one of those really great albums that's got no filler in it. You know, like there's no tracks where, like sometimes with albums, there's always like the 1 or 2 tracks where you skip it. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I'll skip it. But there's literally no filler in this album. No filler, none of those filler rubbish tracks that you just skip. Like they just put it in just to bulk it up a bit. There's no filler. I got Rachel into it as well because, you know, Rachel Shade, we were talking and I was like, oh, waxing on lyrical about this album. I think it had only been out a couple of days, and she was just like, I know Gary Numan, but I don't really like, I'm not like into him. So like, you know, and I was like, and just literally info dumped all the way over onto her. And she played it the following day, and she got back to me and she was just like, The Gift was her favourite track on there, and I really like that track as well. My other favourite tracks are I Am Screaming, Saints and Lawyers, Now and Forever, and my husband's favourite tracks are The Chosen and End of Dragons. So there's, quite a mixture there of different people's opinions of their favourite tracks. But like I say, it's one of those albums that you can just put on and listen to and it's like you get really into it, do you know what I mean? And there's no filler, no skippy tracks, no tracks that I'm just like, oh, I don't like that one. Do you know what I mean? And that's really rare for me, because like there's always at least one track on an album there you go, oh, I just can't be bothered to listen to that one, and then just skip it. Because that's just the nature of listening to music, isn't it? And it's just, and I'm a person that likes to listen to albums rather than doing playlists. I might do a playlist, and my partner does me a playlist and stuff like that, and it's fun, but I like to listen to an album and maybe listen to it a couple of times just back to front, just like, yeah, I'm going to put that back on now. But like I say, because of the fact that I like to listen to albums, there's always a couple of tracks that you might want to skip because it's just like, yeah, not really into that one. But this album has got no filler in it. It's a really sort of dark album, and it's really kind of, it gives you this post-apocalyptic vibe that I get when I listen to Fields of the Nephilim, in a very different way. I mean, this album sounds nothing like Fields of the Nephilim. It's not what I mean. It's just that I get that same kind of post-apocalyptic vibe from it because of the songs and stuff. Rachel said she really liked the album because it sounds like a film soundtrack, a movie soundtrack. And I really like the album because it sounds like a story. So, and that's another thing that I love about music. It just means something different to everybody. And I like to hear what people like about something that I like, because then you get a different perspective on it. And so that's it. That's been really fun chatting to Rachel about that, and obviously my husband seeing what he thinks about it and what he likes about it. And my husband's very much listens to an album as music. He doesn't read into it, whereas I'm very much I want to read into it and I want to get immersed in that sort of world. That's why I like artists that tell stories in their songs, and that's what I really like about this album. It sounds like a story, and you get kind of immersed into this world that Gary Numan has made for you, and I find that really interesting and sort of really sort of like fascinating, and it's a really nice sort of zone to sort of be in. It's a very nice album to sort of like put on, while you're doing something. So you might not necessarily be paying attention, but it's also a really great album for putting in your headphones and like really immersing in the experience. Do you know what I mean? Because you can, when you have it on your headphones, obviously, like I live in a house, and it's semi-detached, so I've only got to worry about one neighbour. My neighbour's really cool. But I don't like to take the mix, so I don't like to have my music on blaring full blast 24 hours a day. If I want my music on really loud, I just put my headphones on. But when you listen to it on the headphones, you can hear so many details. And like Gary Numan, the way he's put these songs together, it's just so intricate and interesting and detailed that it just blows me away. Like I say, I've been listening to this album since it came out, and I'm just really, really happy with it. I really like it, and I think Rachel really likes it as well. So yeah, this is the Gary Numan Intruder album, and I have been really enjoying this over the last couple of weeks. I'm so pleased that he went to number 2 in the album charts. That's just such an exciting, because it wasn't like he went to number 2 in the alternative album charts or something. He went to number 2 in the actual regular, everybody's in there in a bubble chart. Do you know what I mean? Like you might have the rock charts and the alternative charts and the this charts and the that charts and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I know, because this kind of music is obviously niche, but it's nice to see it in the mainstream. And that's what I like about it. I mean, when I was a kid, things like Susie and the Banshees and The Cure and stuff like this, these were in the charts and on top of the pops. These were in the mainstream. They weren't some weird underground thing that nobody ever talked about because they didn't know anything about it. It was in the mainstream media. It was in the mainstream, on the telly, on, like I say, on top of the pops, this sort of thing. So it's just really nice that, because obviously when we got to, I think we got to the sort of 90s, everything sort of got split, and it was just like we had the rock charts and the alternative charts and the indie charts, and then you had the normal charts, and trying to get your niche people into the normal charts was really difficult. So I'm dead pleased that he got into number 2 with this on the album charts. It was well deserved. Yeah, so that is my review of Gary Numan's Intruder album. A really dark, interesting story to immerse yourself into if you fancy a change, or even if you fancy something, you know, that's new and, you know, you haven't heard before. There's a comfort in listening to music that you've listened to a million times before, but there's such a buzz that you get out of listening to something that you've never heard before and it blows you away. Do you know what I mean? So I definitely highly recommend this album. Like I say, it's a really dark, sort of post-apocalyptic story that we're being told, and you can immerse yourself into that world, and it's just really fun. And I really enjoyed it. No filler, no skip tracks. Absolutely brilliant. That's all from me for this week, guys. I shall see you very soon.